Well, also, we've got health issues to discuss, lots of them, including the importance or not of vaccines.
Yeah, big issue.
Yeah.
Very big issue.
And with that in mind, when was the last time your doctor made a house call? Well, ours does. Dr.
Where? We
Asa
glad,
Andrew is back in the house.
Great to have you here.
Always great to hear from you. And you know, we're hearing so much more, especially raising kids, about mandatory vaccinations for our kids. Tell us about that. What should we be thinking?
Well, when it comes to vaccines, there's so many different opinions out there, and many physicians have their own. I would say about 50-50 right now are pushing for certain vaccines like DPT or MMR. But, you know, really parents have to make their own decision for their kids. And really, I encourage that with all my patients, is for you to really sit down, do the research, get with Dr. Google on the internet, and do your research and see what's best for you. Because vaccines, remember, the medical profession really started with the vaccine years ago, and that's what really set it on the map of really making a difference, of medicine intervening in the body and changing the body. So, you know, there's good and bad with all of it, but you have to make an informed decision for your kids.
Well, can I ask you, I have teenagers, you have preteens. Your girls aren't teenagers yet, are they? Is your oldest one?
One is 13.
Well, one's 13.
Yeah.
Okay,
13,
so you're there.
yeah.
What about Gardasil? You know, we're hearing so much about these inoculations. I mean, this is a vaccine for HPV. You know, they're trying to make it mandatory for teenage girls. Is it effective?
Is it
Most
safe?
importantly, is it safe? Yeah.
That is a big topic right now. And I tell you, a lot of patients that come in, I have mothers that are sitting there with their daughters and they're going, Doc, what do you think we should do? And really, when Gardasil, you know, Merck is the company that made it. And Merck's made many wonderful, you know, pharmaceuticals that have helped manage, you know, different diseases and that sort of thing. But Gardasil, I think, is something we really need to be cautious about because certain diseases they've found have been produced or correlated, as we would say, with the injection of that vaccine.
Really?
Yeah, Guillain-Barré, which is paralysis and muscle weakness. They've had cases of that, paralysis by itself with one leg or one arm. They've had blood clots, and there's been studies that have shown this. However, out of 6 million people or women that get, you know, HPV yearly, okay, annually. About 3,900 will die with cervical cancer. Now that seems like a big number. It's about 10%. And so you really have to weigh the odds out, because at the end of the day, you have to look at the fact that it's a virus. And the goal is, with any virus, is to keep the immune system as strong as it possibly can. And when you inject a vaccine into the body, there's a possibility that will lower your own immune system, making you more susceptible to even getting the virus and it doing something to your body.
So a lot of these parents are getting this for their kids, thinking that they're protecting them from sexually transmitted diseases and cancers, cervical cancers, but really it's a very small amount of protection, true?
It's a very small, here's the deal with this. HPV, human papillomavirus, there are 100 different strands, okay?
100 different
100
ones?
different strands. 10 to 30 of them have been shown to produce cervical cancer. The rest are either genital warts or the regular kind of warts we get on our hands or feet or whatever. So when you vaccinate, you're only going to have a chance of 4 strands that it's going to get anyway. So why take the risk?
And why are they then promoting it? Because the way the advertisements are.
Because there have been cases now that's one side of it causing damage. There have been cases, and that's why the FDA has approved it, from girls aged 9 to 26. They have shown that it's shown preventative methods with, you know, actually preventing it. So see, there's that weight of hey, let's prevent it, and I don't want my daughter to deal with it. But then there's some other things to factor in there. Whoa, there's some other things to factor in there. You have to look at young women and it giving them almost another free ticket to have premarital sex.
That's right.
Hey, I've had my shot. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right. And they've also found that using condoms will protect you against HPV by 70%, and that's a higher ratio of protection than the vaccine.
They're thinking
That's
if
right.
they just take the vaccine.
That's right.
And you know, a lot of the parents just sort of buy into the marketing. One of you guys mentioned that, and it's such a catchy little slogan they had. I heard one of my daughters going around kind of singing the song, you know, one last, one last, one last. Wait a minute.
That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly in this house.
Right.
It is scary, though.
He's a prodigy in our midst. What about autism and vaccinations? Because we hear so much about that.
Vaccines are a real challenge because most of what they're made from our chick embryo, which has a mercury base to it. So it releases more of a mercury heavy metal type base into our bloodstream. And you know, that's one of the most toxic chemicals that we can have in our bodies. And it's heavy metal. So that, aluminum, you've got all kinds of different things
and coming
that are
at a
causing
very
issues.
young, vulnerable, developmental time in a child's life.
And some kids are probably more susceptible, or that'll have more of an effect on them than other kids.
It is. For example, we all have genetic components to our health. If someone has more of a genetic tendency toward cancer in their genes, their body, it's been proven that their body is a sponge toward mercury. So let's say and the same is true with someone with heart and vascular disease, has a tendency to hold on and leach aluminum in the body, which also leads, as we know, to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So for example, if I have a tendency toward cancer, I could use underarm deodorants with aluminum and that sort of thing, and it'll pass through my body. It won't leach in my body. But if I eat some tuna fish that has a lot of mercury in it, my body will just suck every bit of that and hold on to it, which is going to help further my body getting cancer. And the same is true if you are more susceptible to heart disease, you could eat mercury-based things most of the time and your body won't hold on to it, but it will. If you drink out of an aluminum can, it'll suck all that aluminum in and hold on to it.
So you have got to empower your health. I mean,
Absolutely.
you've got to be responsible.
That's what it comes down to. You have to, the parents have to make the decisions for their children, an informed decision. So don't just take vaccines because the school says you have to, the state says you have to,
a
mission
cute slogan.
trip says you have to. I've been in the middle of the mission field in India.
They make you do that, though.
And I didn't take the hepatitis C or any of the vaccines that they wanted me to. You know, and I'm a physician. I didn't want to take them. I knew that God would protect me, and that's not being, you know, overly spiritual about it. It's true. And having the wisdom enough to keeping your own immune system strong. I did everything I could to keep all my immunoglobulins and all the different white blood cell counts up when I was down around those areas. And if we do that, whether we're 7 years old or 97 years old, our body can fight off most of the things that we deal with.
You've written so much of this. It's called Empower Your Health, a great book. Dr. Andrew's newest book is a common sense approach to achieving optimal health. So make a great choice and check it out.
It's a fabulous
just
Take responsibility
full
for your health.
of
That's all
great
we have to do.
information.
Listen to the doctor.